Authentic, fresh, and best of all, completely organic. I love the Motherland Moisturizer. It's designed to smooth and soak in the skin without ever feeling greasy, and their Jade Roller has literally become a part of my self-care routine. Visit nijaskincare.com today and receive 20% off your first order. For beautiful skin you were born to love.
Hi guys, my name is Yabo and I am the founder of Masasi B. If you're looking for unique African-inspired clothing and accessories, please check out my brand. All details are at the end of this video. Feel free to get in touch. Thank you.
Feels so soft. Curl pattern has just bounced back. Look at that. Without any product in the hair at all. When you use Sherma Haven's natural hair care product line, your hair flourishes and becomes the main attraction.
For me, it's a way of building the next generation of Nigerian leaders who are going to put our country straight on the proper path of progress and a positive future.
Okay, for me, it's a platform that will help to build upon what we already have in our youth in Nigeria and Africa. We're trying to instill in them values that you'll find in a leader. We're trying to inspire them to take up leadership positions. We're trying to empower them with the skills and knowledge that they will need to pursue leadership positions too. Honestly, it was out of frustration. There's a saying that goes that when you feel passionate about something, that's probably your calling in life. For me, I was frustrated with the lack of in my country, Nigeria. I was frustrated with the lack of transparency, lack of accountability, lack of connection between our leaders and the
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Enough is enough, Soro, Soke. I'm your host, Mr. Femi on the scene. Today is another great day, and we're going to have a lot of things to talk about, and we're going to debate and discuss things towards a better Nigeria for all of us. Today is another interesting one. The question we will ponder: without a truly democratic parties, electronic voting, and credible elections, Nigeria will remain undemocratic. That is the question. Or will Nigeria remain democratic? We have a full house tonight. My guest to deliberate this topic via StreamYard tonight are Alhaji Salisu Adamu Mohammed. He's the CEO of AAA Homes. Are you there with us? I'm not sure we're having good connections with Nigeria at the moment, but they'll join us later on. We also have Mr. Bola Babalola. He's a mediator and a life trainer. We also have Mr. Daniel Joseph Godwin. He's a journalist and an auditor with NYCN. We have Deacon Adeoye Obanleowo. Good evening to you. And last but not least, we have Dr. Olufemi Oba Kanwi. He's an educationalist.
Good evening.
There with us?
Good evening. Yeah, good evening, Nigeria.
Okay, good.
Viewers.
Welcome to the show. Enough is enough, Soro Soke. You can post messages on Facebook and YouTube live on our handle at Prime View Television. We should start off by looking at the state of our multi-party democracy, its pitfalls and solutions to strengthen our democracy. Then we will finish with some current affairs. So if you're ready, I'll start the show by noting the following. Democracy is an illusion in Nigeria, as Nigerians never get to vote for the best possible candidates on merit. Selection instead of election can never lead to our democratic deliverance. So with that, I'll start the first question I'll start with my good friend, Mr. Obanleo. Okay? Yeah. So looking at our parties, many of our Nigerians are disinterested in party politics. as the main parties have no ideology. We're going towards a two-party system, but must consider both the main parties to be one, but most people consider both the main parties to be one and the same, and they call them APCD. What is your view?
Good evening, viewers, and good evening to my colleagues in the studio as well. Well, for me, this is something that has been going on for so many years. Going back to 1999, when we had the new administration under Chief Richard Obasanjo. That was a PDP government from 1999 to 2007. Then we actually felt that, okay, Nigerians can look on the brighter side of life. He started on a very good note, tried everything possible to bring down the budget the deficit, which was the foreign debt that we were owing. And, you could say that, he started on a very, very, very good note. But unfortunately, as things progressed, we spiraled out of control. Baba spent his 8 years, handed over to next year Yar'Adua. Unfortunately, he didn't actually live long to finish his tenure. So it's been one problem or the other. Having said that, I think the problem we are actually having in Nigeria boils down to systemic failure. You see, because a lot of people actually go into government with one aim, and that is to look at to view politics and look at the democratic system of Nigeria as a perfect platform for them, to elevate their own status in terms of making a life much better for themselves, their cronies, and their immediate family. Not putting into perspective the fact that good governance, actually comes with putting the needs of your people first. Starting from your own community as a leader, you lead from your own home, your community, and that transcends. But it's not only in Nigeria. This attitude is not only synonymous with Nigerian politicians. It's a problem that has blighted many African countries. And when you really look at the problem, is I've said it so many times in previous programs. I mean, the problem we have that has allowed the situation to begin to go from bad to worse is because a lot of people don't really understand what we mean when we say the rule of law. Even from the federal legislative to even to the local government, nobody really understands what it means to be a politician. We don't have politicians who have the political sagacity anymore. People just go into politics, thinking politics is just a game, a platform for them just to go in there and do whatever they think, they like or will have, without putting it into consideration. Yeah.
Yeah. But just so that I can get just back to the point. The point is that the two main parties, and in fact any party in Nigeria, they have no ideology. Yeah. So there's nothing for the people to believe in. Not only do they have no ideology, people jump party from one party to another. Today's APC,
I'm just giving you a genesis, Femi, based on experience. That look, this is not something that we started overnight. This is something that has always been in the pipeline. No ideologies, and as soon as you become a politician, if things don't go your way in your particular party, you can always switch allegiance. And right now, what is happening now is a lot of PDP stalwarts who have actually perpetrated a lot of crimes are now seeing APC as the perfect platform for them to move on to, because no matter what you do, as long as you can toe the line, your sins are forgiven. So that is the Nigeria of today. There is no discipline. There is no discipline at all.
Let me bring Dr. in. We've got lots of time. Let's carry on. Let me bring Dr. in, only because he's shaking his head in disgust, as it were, because you've basically said that, look, you can commit all your crimes in PDP because that means that they're criminals in PDP, but then when you get to APC, your sins are forgiven. So
absolutely,
look, the point is, the point is that party memberships are not transparent. The people harp on about electronic voting and transmission of results when we don't even have online membership and databases within our parties. I mean, how do you join a party? It's all fraudulent. It's nothing transparent in that in itself. APC says they've got about, I think, 40 million members. How transparent is that membership list?
Thank you very much, Femi. Before I answer that question, it's an indictment from Mr. Valeo that a PDP, he's just confirmed it himself. He's a PDP carry member. He's just confirming that PDP is a party of rogues. He said that when you've seen from PDP, you run to APC. That means it's confirmed that it's a party of criminals. So
I said what parties?
Listen.
I'm sure he will dispute with that, but
can we have decorum, please? Now, the thing is this: in politics, like you said, Nigeria is just the political parties are just a miniature of the Nigerian society itself. We are a society that does not respect ideology. We are a society that does not have ideology. When you have an ideology, they call you a madman. We have an ideology, you stand on principle, they call you are too hard, or they will sideline you. So it's a reflection of a bigger society that we have in our political party. If you have, somebody said in there, with all due, I'm going to use very careful. If you bring Jesus Christ to Nigeria, Nigerians will mess him up. So it is a system with a problem that does not, it's a nation that we are struggling to create a system. On the sound that when you come to PDP, APC, your sins are forgiven. This is a lie from the pit of hell. There are many APC members that are being tried. That some have been jailed. Some are on trial.
Doctor,
So
I don't want you to get hooked up on that point because
so please don't let us get
into let's focus on this.
On the issue of membership, there is a lot to be done. But I will say this with all due respect. Most of the problem we have in Nigeria is that a lot of us Nigerians do not have a sense of history. Look at where we are coming from. We are gradually moving forward. Although we are not moving at the pace that we should do, we are gradually moving forward. In the past, there is nothing like membership. There is nothing like commitment to any party. Everybody jump up and down and all. Gradually, we are moving. Because democracy is just new. Democracy is just 20 years old in Nigeria, for God's sake. Even what's it called? Conservative Party and Labour Party are renewing their membership, and they're doing it. But all we need to do is that we need to put system in place so that when you are a member of a political party, it goes into a database, and that database is kept for a particular time until you come out and make maybe official procedure. They will have official procedure of the registering yourself from that political party. That's where we begin to work on ideology.
But before I get back to Mr. Deacon Obanlewo, you're a proponent of the APC. I mean, I'm right in saying so. And they've just recently had this, and I think it's still ongoing, the membership registration program and process. What I'm suggesting to you is that is already set in a kind of not controversy, but the basis upon which it's the foundation, if you like, is already fraught with problems when it's not transparent and it's not you could, I mean, the technology is such now that you could have an APC app. In fact, whilst I was a member of APC UK executive, they already touted an APC app that you could pass on to vote to your members, and they can log in and join the party online. That's so transparent. Everybody will have a unique number. There'll be facial recognition. They'll have their photo and everything. They can do all the other fingerprints and whatever. They could link it into their PVCs. It would be so transparent, and there'll be no, it'd be so easy. And that app could even be used for voting. Why isn't it your party? Why isn't it the APC and not even do? Why didn't they do that?
Yes. It's a good thing, but let me tell you something, and that's why I said sometimes we are in a hurry.
We'll get to the PDP, but let's talk about your party.
Yes, sometimes it's very difficult. It's very easy for us. I always have issues with this. Most of the time, when we talk about politics in Nigeria, when we talk about issues in Nigeria, we think of the elites alone. Listen, the people that really vote in Nigeria are not you and me. The people, the real people that vote in Nigeria are the people that most of them do not have the means of this app we are talking about. But I'm not saying that shouldn't be done. But the real people that are on the street, the market woman that goes on the street, that commits, that go to rally, that commits themselves to party, that go to party meeting in the evening, that goes to village town meetings, are not on all this app we are talking about. Most of the people that we are talking on app only sit in their room on the day of election, drinking beer and suya.
Okay, I want to dispute that because you know that INEC have started their continuous voter registration program. They've just started now, thankfully, in this 2021. I'm going to tell you, the online voter registration process, 250,000 people in the first week. So that speaks to what you're saying. And remember that 70% of our population are the youth, 70%. And a major proportion of the youth use mobile phones and all that kind of stuff. And we keep saying that they're not part of the process. If we now put in place systems that will make them easier for them, that would help, isn't it? But at the end of the day, I'm not saying we don't have the manual system going pari passu for all the people that you mentioned, but we need to start changing things. Let me get back to Mr. Obanlewo. Look, party funding is another area shaded in secrecy at the whims of stinkily corrupt money bag politicians. Why is it that in most parties in the world over, and in fact, because you're talking about we're just in this democracy and all this kind of stuff, this is not the truth. We have a history of democracy going back to even pre-colonial times, and party democracy was happening. And what used to happen then was that members of parties funded the parties. It wasn't the money bags. MPN was funded by money bags and members. UPN, as you know, Action Group, they were funded by members. Also, you've got the issue of NURTW. I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about that one. That's another issue. But you've got Labour Party are funded by unions. So what I'm suggesting to you, if we take the control away from the money bags, if these parties want to be truly democratic and allow members to take control, why is it the PDP? They have not engaged in any membership program, as it were now, membership registration program, as far as I'm aware. And why aren't they also becoming more democratic and allowing members like yourself to contribute towards the PDP, the party that they said was going to be in control for 60 years? Mr. Deacon Obanlewo.
Yeah, Femi, let me just correct one notion earlier. I think Tunde was, apprehensive about it was apprehensive about what I said earlier. When I said, you see, when I mentioned PDP earlier, I would some members jumping bandwagon to go to APC. You should not be proud of that fact that your party is taking them on. Neither should we be happy that when it's the other way around, some APC members have gone to PDP as well. So it just goes to show
Obaseki, and he won the vote, he won the election.
Yes. Now, Femi, back to your question.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when you allow filthy money to override your sense of judgment, then these are the kind of things that anybody just believes you can come from UK, you can come from America, or nobody knows your source of money. There's so many people in politics today that they have questionable backgrounds when it comes to where they got their. I mean, I don't want to even from Ogun State. I don't want to mention names. There are so many people who are in politics today that they cannot honestly say to you, this is their genuine source of money. But as long as you have money in Nigerian politics, automatically you become a messiah overnight, and that is the problem. Take for instance, Femi, you brought us on a point earlier. In this country, if you want to donate money to any political party, you have to declare how much you're donating to that political party, and it has to be a certain amount. If it exceeds that amount, forget it. They would no. And if that person has a questionable background, automatically that money will have to be returned to that person. If you donate if you are donating to any political party here, you better be 100% sure of where that money is coming from. But in Nigeria, it's contrary to the case. In Nigeria, anybody can come to join a political party. Nobody needs to know who you are. Nobody needs to have heard of your name before. But as long as Babolowoni automatically come on board. because it's not the fact that they are really keen about that person, because they just want to use that person's influence and the money he has just to publicize all in the name of cheap publicity, what all this hidden agenda,
let me give you a follow-up question. I mean, go on. If you want to finish your point, finish your point. Go on.
Yeah. We just one motive, and that is to actually, go into the if they're fortunate enough to get into power, just mismanage the resources that is meant for every single Nigerian, and that's the reason why people in Nigeria have no respect for today's politicians in Nigeria, and that's why they call them, rather than calling them Oshelu, they call them Ojelu, because they're not there, they're not fit for purpose. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just follow up on that, because over here, and even in the US, even though personally as an individual, there may be limits on you paying individually, but corporate funding, there's corporate funding as well. So corporate funding doesn't have any limits. And in fact, in America, they made it such that any company can give money. So there's no limits. In fact, when we talk about money bag politics, come on, America in the billions of dollars every year. So
but Femi, you're mixing it up.
What I'm trying to say is that
you cannot compare the system in America to the system here.
What I'm trying to say to you is that money in and of itself is not the issue. I've already said to you that over here, individuals do pay subscriptions even in America. So a significant proportion of funding comes from that. No organization can engage in political activity without funding. And if the basis of your funding is based in secrecy, as it is in Nigeria, and those who are in control, the legislators and executives, as it were, the demigod governors, using state funds to fund party. I don't understand when we're going to get a case where we can, although Fayose is in court at the moment, I'm not sure if he used state funds to fund election campaigns. I haven't seen a governor being prosecuted for that. They may be prosecuted for looting into their private pockets, but taking government money to pay for campaigns, that should be illegal, is it not?
You see, it is illegal, Femi. And based on what we said a few minutes ago, you see, membership, when it comes to politics, membership matters a lot. When you have genuine members who are properly registered, then you can say, okay, maybe from this constituency or from this local government, in other local governments, local governments, these are the number of members we have, because you have to pay. As a PDP member, I'm a card-carrying member. Even here in the United Kingdom, you have to until today we still pay your monthly subscription, and that goes into the coffers of the party. That is the best way of generating funds in order for the party to remain relevant. You see?
Okay, when is your party going to do its membership registration or revalidation? Is that likely to happen anytime soon? We've got 18 months to the election.
To be honest with you, I don't really understand what is happening right now. From the broader perspective, and I've said it many times without any apology to anybody. I'm more focused on PDP Southwest now compared to there is no point wasting time saying you want to build a nation when you have cracks in your own community.
Okay.
So I've always
let me bring Doctor in, because as I say, time. Doctor, is the problem the leadership or the followers? We have docile, fragmented members only interested in personal benefits rather than the benefits of the collective. Is that where the problem lies? People are not concerned. If you decide to say, come join our party today, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what's in there for me? What's there in it for me? They're not ready to do any log work. They're not ready to look at the long-term picture. That's why I keep telling people, trying to create another third false party right now is an exercise in futility with 18 months to go. They should have been doing it right from the beginning or the end of the 2019 election, building up to now. No grassroots structure, nothing going on the right ground. All those people are deceivers. So what's going to happen now? Is it the members or is it the followers? Who are responsible for the nonsense of the party democracy or lack of party democratic principles that we have?
Femi, thank you very much. Let us be realistic here. Let us forget party affiliations. There is a structural defect in our society. There is a moral defect in our society. There is a lack of commitment in our society to political ethos and political standards that is applicable all over the world. So if you are talking about political membership, most of the people that you're asking to register are either registering because somebody is promising them something, or they expect something to come from somewhere. You said something which I laugh about. Oh, the largest population of Nigerians are 70% are youth, young people. Forget these young people you are talking about. Listen, most of the young people you are talking about are not interested in anything that will not bring them money.
Isn't that a danger? Isn't that a danger for us as a nation?
It's a dangerous trend. Trust me, both of you, try starting a business in Nigeria today. Put 10 young Nigerians there. They are after how to ruin the business and disappear. So if you are talking about what we give them daily bread, what they will get salary for, and they are ready to ruin it and grab what they can grab and disappear.
So you're suggesting that it's the followers. Is it the followers?
Yeah, the followers they are there. And unfortunately, the political system is feeding that. Is that they have small hyenas. You are feeding them for the day you want to attack a crowd. So when the hyenas are fed properly by you, the day you unleash them to the opponent. What we need to do, and sometimes when I see all this agitation, oh, not want to go, east wants to go, west want to go, I just laugh about it. What we need to work is that there is a moral decadence in our society. People make that if you go to if Yoruba go, suddenly everybody in the West become angels. No, there are criminals amongst us. There are criminals in the East. There are criminals in the North. We need to work on our social and moral ethos. What
about the leaders? What about the leaders? We know that the followers are bad. But what about the vote? What about the leaders that what's the word? Dibokesebe or whatever it is that they do. What is it?
That's exactly what I said.
And buy and make soup. You
that's
vote and then they give you the money. Isn't it the leaders that are giving them the money in the first place?
That's what I said. They are as bad as the leaders are as bad as the followers. There's a saying that says that every bad country, every bad country that has a bad leadership deserves the kind of the country deserves the kind of leadership they have. The thing is this: unfortunately, we have a generation of bad leaders that are ready to feed those hyenas for the purpose of it. What we need to work on is this: what is our social background? What is our moral background as a nation? The moment you talk about ideology, people are abusing you. The moment you talk about having a standard, people tell you, go away. What do you know? How much have you been paid? Everybody, the moment you have an ideology about something, which is different from a fellow Nigerian, the thing is, next thing you say, how much they give you? So everybody is thinking from the perspective of money. Money. So the leaders are bad at the followers.
Yeah, but we talk about perception. So when you have a situation where you have the bullion van man, Tinubu, and bullion vans coming into his house in the midst of an election, that can't be helpful either. That just reinforces the whole money culture, the stinkingly corrupt. And it looks like those are the sort of people who are going to be going ahead in 2023. Can that make any sense? It's just continuation of what happened previously.
It doesn't make any sense. Because as a society we find ourselves. Tinubu carrying bullion van in his house, two things in there. I will say that as a party man, I will say that as a Nigerian. As a party man, is wrong. As a Nigerian, is wrong. For goodness sake. In the middle of election. If it's not election period, he has if he likes, he drive bullion van. He decides to drive bullion van to his office himself. But in the middle of an election, it is wrong. There's no other way. There's nothing about that. It is wrong.
The optics weren't that great, were they?
At all.
And I'm sure I can see any political campaign will be followed with bullion vans all over the place. But let me move the question on. Let me move the question on.
But
I don't want to focus. I don't want to focus. I don't want to focus on him. We're going to get back to him later. But let's move the question on. The next question is: party democracy is non-existent in Nigeria when they opt for undemocratic indirect primaries that are neither transparent or accountable. When are we going to have a legislation that says all political parties must have direct primaries? There's no point. There's no way of concealing this. Whether you're PDP or APC, they're all in the same boat. We've just seen what's happened in Anambra just now. They're in chaos now because, you know, they've had indirect primaries. They had caucuses. God knows how they got their votes, and they're already in court. You know, the APC one is also mired in some kind of controversy, but they're not in court yet. What do you say to the insistence that we have direct primaries? Look, even in Ogun State, we're all from Ogun State. They just had local government election primaries for APC, and they weren't even direct primaries. We saw what happened in Lagos State when Tinubu, the one that we're chastising at the moment, ensured that they had direct primaries for the Lagos State governorship election. And we saw how transparent, if it were, even though people didn't like it, but you know, it was more transparent than having the indirect one. Why can't we have direct primaries as a matter of law?
Femi, the problem we have as a country generally is that we have to go back to and begin to review the foundation, which has been very, very faulty since inception. I mean, Tunde mentioned something earlier that our democracy in Nigeria is still very young. Whether we're still very young or very old, you know, it all boils down to individual discipline. We are as a country, we are not disciplined enough. Take for instance, what you just made reference to a few minutes ago. You know, the primaries that was conducted, in Ogun State. Ogun State, I'll be monitoring
APC,
events.
APC, but you're not an APC member though, but you are monitoring it. Go ahead.
Yes, I am monitoring it. You know, and the thing is that they allow people to come forward, waste their money, waste their resources, knowing fully well that they know who they're actually going to pick at the end of the day. And I just begin to wonder, are you trying to tell me that you're using money to buy people's conscience? The whole dynamics needs to change, Femi. And that is the problem. You cannot continue to deceive people saying you're conducting primaries, knowing fully well that at the end of the day, you know, there's not going to be sincerity of purpose. That exercise that is being implemented is just in the name of propaganda and gimmicks. You see, when the governor makes it absolutely clear that this is the individual that I want to work with, you can have elections, you can have your primaries or whatever. They know who they're going to choose at the end of the day. Yeah, and that's the problem. Listen, let me finish this. It happens in APC and it happens in PDP. But my point of contention is, why should we allow this to be a common trend in our politics?
But it goes back to the previous question: whose fault is it? So if you, the people, are happy to allow, hold on just a minute. Yeah. You're allowed to be kept quiet with promises of, okay, we'll do this for you. Just sit down. Don't bother. Pull yourself. Withdraw your candidacy if you were. Don't worry. I'm settling you later. That kind of scenario. Yeah. Or the people that. So what you actually have is that people would be telling you that I have my supporters. They cheated me. They had my supporters and they cheated me. But because they weren't given their chance to show this support, maybe they don't really have the support. Maybe it's all propaganda and fabu. You understand? By the time you get down Tabadojue, maybe there's no support at all. But if you don't give them the opportunity to prove themselves,
one thing I've learned in my 23 years journey in politics is the best candidates never have the finance, you know, available at their disposal to showcase their point. Most of the videos that I've known who have ventured into politics cannot compete with these people who have amassed illicit wealth, and they just use that to oppress.
Yeah, but even at local government level, it's not so much about. I can tell
you, even in Ogun State, with just the primaries that have just been concluded. You know, when I heard the astronomical figures that was being spent, this is even the election has not been conducted. This is just the primaries. Running into millions. I had somebody even spent even close to 200 to 250 million. What for? When there's no guarantee, and those are the excesses we need to curtail. Femi,
what would really make it work? What would really put an end to that would be if we had this so-called, primaries by selection, because it's not by election anymore, it's by selection. And then when they get to the real election, the people of the community should just vote for another person. Just say, we reject that person because you didn't do that, we reject them. But we all know that our state electoral bodies are they're not independent, are they?
You're not fit for purpose.
We haven't even got into the Onoche's scenario, just like Onoge. We had Onoge before, now we have Onoche, Loretta. So we'll talk about that later. But let's move on. Let's look at our electoral process in general, and Nigeria's electoral process. We've got the Electoral Act is to be tabled before NAS, and this is for before the National Assembly. And there have been various rumors about the removal of certain clauses, though this has been debunked by the House of Reps Speaker, Femi Gbajamila. Is this another fake news that is being pushed to heat up the polity? Doctor?
Yeah.
The allegation that they've taken out electronic voting and some other bits and bobs, which Gbajamila says, no, that's not the case.
Yeah, I've heard it and I've read it. That's not the case. But I think there is a deliberate attempt by some people in the media, there's this fifth realm of the media, to anything that is good in Nigeria must be blackmailed. So there is a particular arm of the government and of the media that is out to blackmail. Now, everybody is shouting about this or that. There is an amendment going on about the electoral system. Instead of them to get involved in it, they are sitting back and blackmailing the National Assembly. How many of them have gone there to go and put in their word, or they're putting their contribution to those amendments? Instead of us to do that, we are sitting down on social media and pushing out false information. He has said that. How many people have been to witness in the gallery of National Assembly to listen to the debates? How many people have gone there to add their own voice to the amendment of the electoral system? No, what we're seeing is a deliberate attempt, and that's it comes out of what I said in the first instance. The commitment of Nigerians to good governance is questionable. Most of the things we do, we either do it for partisan purpose or on the grounds of hate, tribalism, or because it does not pay favor me. I've said it before. A lot of Nigerians don't hate corruption. A lot of Nigerians love corruption. When it favors them, they call it connection. When it doesn't favor them, they call it corruption. So when we talk to issue of this electoral system and amendment, if we are the committed, the youth you talk about, 70% of the youth, take a poll on the street. What is the current situation of electoral amendment? They will tell you what you're talking about. Is it Chidinma? Are they talking about? Or Babagisha? That's what they are talking about. You know what they are talking about. So this is what we're talking about. The level of commitment to our look at what the momentum did in the Labour Party. Look at how they transformed the Labour Party. Yeah, it might not get there, but they had
what about UKIP?
Yeah, look at UKIP. Look at how they transformed. I've also so if you are talking about they're talking about not what the next thing I'm hearing is that they were talking about the third political party. That is just that is a failure from the onset. How can you form a political party and win election? 18 months of election. It does not happen anywhere. Anywhere.
I think something similar like that happened in France, but they're more advanced.
That is France. Macron. The last time the young people came together to form a coalition they fought.
But no one's in favor of Macron now.
Yeah, the thing is this: with time, the reality dawns on people. But at least they made an effect. Look at the last time Mugalu, Udrotoye, and Shore came together. They fought at the spit at each other's faces because they will not look at when there was NSAS. Bring some young people to the panel. They start fighting each other. So when we're talking about this, and we're talking about old people go and retire, the young people are fighting each other because the commitment, the level of commitment that we talk about is lacking. A lot of our young people want politics for the purpose of self-aggrandizement, not because they want to serve. DOye is sitting down here. He's talking about 23 years of service in PDP. How many of them are ready to serve 23 days before, if they don't get an appointment, they walk away? They walk away.
Okay, let me bring.
So when we're talking about the change we are looking about, we're talking about the transformation or political transformation. It has to do with time. When we're talking about political emancipation, we're talking about we have to talk about, there should be commitment in years, commitment in days, commitment in where do we come in, and also grow with the party, and then begin to capture the essence of the party at the grassroots. Then we're talking about money politics. Now you say something. Tell me quickly. You said something about money politics at the grassroots. Why is money politics at the grassroots? Because some people are still ready to collect money at the local government level. So when they're talking about local government level, they're talking about national level. When they think, oh, when we collect the money, I won't even see them. I won't see the government. The local government chairman that I see every day, I want to collect money before I vote for him. So that's how bad this is. As some people say, it's poverty. It's not poverty. It's called greed. It's greed.
Let me bring Deacon back into it. Deacon Adeoye. Doctor was saying that Nigerians and the youth, especially, we shouldn't rely on them. They're a failed lot. They're not even worth anything. However, they did try to end SARS, and people say that then the government bashed them down and stopped them. Although others will say that protest was hijacked, so government had no choice but to come in. Now, concerned citizens and organizations and citizens, they did lobby, and they demonstrated at the National Assembly. It was on TV. For the deployment of the text and the electronic voting and the transmission of results, saying that they want to make sure that our politicians don't go and double down and change things through the back door as they normally do. The INEC tested electronic transmission of votes in Edo and Ondo, and we can see that thing is working. INEC has said that it's got more technology to bring into the fore that's going to make 2023 a better election. Isn't it time for the citizens, instead of saying scatter Nigeria and forget about Nigeria, and some are even saying, do you know what, boycott the elections, there's going to be no elections? Isn't it time for them to actually take charge in this whole electoral process, rather than abandon it and then they will complain when they get the same leaders that come by in 2023?
Look, Femi, let me just correct one notion. To a relative extent, I think I will probably understand where Tule is coming from. Look, the position myself, you, and you guys are today is by virtue of the fact that we were brought up in a stable environment. Okay, Femi, going back 30, 40 years ago, when you guys were Afro, I was at BBHS, whatever, you know, there is what there was discipline. Okay, now 30 years down the line, things have changed completely. Most of the young youths that we are looking at are probably irresponsible today, you know, didn't have the opportunity or the platform that we had to flourish. Now, 30, 40 years ago, it was unheard of for people to be involved in Yahoo or all sorts of illicit businesses, even though during our time, we also had some of our guys, you know, our friends who, you know, were also stubborn and all that, but not to this magnitude. Now, what I'm trying to say is, when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? The problem we have is when you take somebody's self-confidence away, automatically you've already destroyed that individual, because in a nutshell, what you're saying to that person is that nothing good can ever come out of you. And as a result of that, these guys have now looked at the whole scope. They've now looked at the whole system of operation in which Nigeria is being operated on, and they're now thinking, look, there's no way, there's no future for us in this country, so we might as well carve a career for ourselves. So that career they've now carved out for themselves is in the area of criminality. That is why every nook and corner now, you know, you see these guys driving the best cars, you know, young girls, involved in, not just in, I mean, when I say youth, I mean both male and I mean the age group of between 25 to 35. Those are the worst age group in Nigeria, because those are the ones who want to, the position you and I, have never ever even attempted to attain back in those days. They want to attain it. Nobody wants to do anything now because they
have the likes of Hush Puppy as examples to live up to.
That is correct. I mean, Hush Puppy. Funnily enough, this Hush Puppy, when I was growing up in Lagos, Hush Puppy was a kid in the Worochoki. So that is the problem, Femi. So the foundation, the foundation and the way things have disintegrated now, in comparison to when we were growing up in Nigeria in the 70s, it's a different so it's problematic. Now, most of these guys now that we look at today as being irresponsible, all these things did not happen because they wanted it that way. It's because of the system in which they found themselves. So, I think that the most important thing is for us to reevaluate so many things that have gone wrong in Nigeria and go back to basics. Fundamentally, we've got it wrong. And that's the only way we can begin to imbibe different things into the system in order for youth in Nigeria to begin to change their orientation and their mindset. Yeah.
Deoye, but you said this. Yes. I am an educationist, I will always take people on this. When we were growing up, we were told our generation was terrible because the generation before us was better. And that when we were going about this, we were scallywags. You remember in those days when we used to, instead of we go to parties during school hours, we go Siroma. In those days, we go to parties, we drink, we do. Thank God for God. Thank God Jesus found us.
But today, not as bad as it is now.
Yes, I'm saying this. Yes, I'm supporting what you are saying. What I'm saying is I'm not giving up on the society. What I'm saying is this: at our level, at those days, we were seen as bad for the society that we were not. But when reality set in, we began to make way out of it. But the thing is this: social media had made the world a small global village. Electronics and development had come in so much way that there are so many things that in the past that a lot of people do not do in the Western world in the past that they do now. So also it is not peculiar to Nigeria, it's not synonymous with Nigeria. So when we're talking about youth decay, it is not synonymous with Nigeria. In today's world, you will see the Western world manages it. A lot of crime in Western world is committed by young people. Only about Tuesday, just on Tuesday, there was the video going about young boys stabbed to death in Woolwich. The two female sisters that were killed in London during the lockdown were killed by a young person. So we're talking about youth crime is synonymous with everywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
But for us to now narrow it down to because there's a youth crime, there's a drug crime in Nigeria, therefore there is nothing, or because they have been bastardized.
Okay, let me just focus back on it. Hold on. Let me
just quickly make a statement. Quickly. Yeah. I mean, now today, very, very, very valid points. And you see, sometimes in one's life, at some point in time, you have to make choices. You either make choices that are positive or negative choices. You see, put it into perspective. Your particular point of making reference to the UK. A lot of people will say, look, in the UK, this is a land of opportunity in comparison to Nigeria. In comparison to Nigeria, why is it that some kids are really, really doing well? Why is it that a lot of youth in this country are hell-bent, on being members of gangs? That's a matter of choice. Whereas you also see some people who are excelling, but in comparison to Nigeria or other parts of Africa, they could say, well, you cannot really use UK as a case study, because when you compare the advanced countries to developing countries and countries like Nigeria, there are limited. Nigeria is Nigeria and other parts of Africa, as I said. There are limited opportunities, and when the opportunities are there, those opportunities are not. The people are not allowed to cut across and benefit from those opportunities.
Okay, look,
it boils down to who you. It boils down to who you know. It boils down to how well connected you are.
Okay,
and that is the problem.
Mr. Deacon, let me just get back to this whole thing about the elections and the voting process and the lack of democracy in the party process. The thing is, our population is a big problem, and we're going to have a discussion about that in another show, which goes to show that if you look at the population of unemployed people now in Nigeria, will you believe that it's more than the total population when we were at independence, when we were in the 1960s and 70s and 80s? We have more people unemployed now than the whole population when we were independent. So when you need to put that into perspective, that many number of unemployed, and now why we have the crisis that we have. Now, looking ahead of 2023, I want to bring this question to you, Deacon. Does integrity trump impartiality? Can Nigerians be dispassionate despite their bias? The nomination of Ms. Loretta Onoche, a devoted Buhari loyalist, to be or not to be an INEC commissioner is the question. Is it the system that is the problem, not the person at the head, who should ordinarily just be rubber stamping an already fair and transparent electoral process? So what do you say to this?
Femi, you see, and I'm going to say this on a neutral point. No matter the comments by the president, people will still look at it as if maybe what do you expect? The whole system, is fundamentally flawed. Even if this this new person in place means well, there will still always be some people who are always going to, raise eyebrow to say, look, I am sure that he appointed this person just because maybe that's one of his cronies, and it shouldn't be like that. What we lack in Nigeria is nobody trusts our politicians or the people we have at the corridors of power anymore. So there will always be, as Tula said earlier, when anything happens, as long as it does not favor us directly or whatever, we always look at it from an antagonistic point of view. You see, now, the problem we have now is we need to begin to reorientate ourselves to begin to change our way of thinking. Now, look, if we really want, for those who still believe that Nigeria is still in the beckoning and Nigeria should remain united, then the only way forward is for us to begin to change our orientation. If we really want Nigeria to work, orientation is number one. It's key. It's crucial. If we don't change our orientation and we change that, there will always continue to be tribal bias. There will always going to be ethnicity bias, and even if you bring
partisan bias.
That is correct. But until you begin to educate people that look, whether you have an Hausa man there today or an Igbo man today, there to tomorrow, or a South person, we still have to understand that this person is working towards one common goal and must have and this person must have the total and unequivocal support of every meaningful Nigerian who means well for this country. If that is not being implemented, we will always keep having these people agitating for, including myself, because I am still in support, even if somebody believes believes contrary to my own ideologies. My ideology is, look, if things are not working, it might take us time to get there.
Dabo Gweru.
No. I'm not in favor of Dabo Gweru. Look.
Okay.
Let's have a carve out of what is not working. Let's try our own agenda and let's see where that takes us. But at the end of the day, in the event that people still believe that Nigeria is still possible, even after the expiration of the 100 years amalgamation, which finished 7 years ago, I still believe that nothing is impossible. I believe that nothing is impossible.
Let me bring Doctor back to the question.
We cannot continue this way forever. We cannot continue.
Yeah, we'll get onto those. We'll get onto those.
Yeah.
We'll get onto those topics. I want to focus just whilst we get the 1 hour on the actual democracy and electoral system. Doctor, I want to ask you on the same point that at the end of the day, as I was saying to Deacon there, that it isn't the person that we should be concerned about really, because as the head, there's supposed to be a system, and the system's supposed to work, and they're just going to be a rubber stamp. So, you know, making all this noise about the lady herself, and it's a political appointment. Political appointments go to cronies. This is the normal. This is nothing new. During the time of 16 years of PDP, all their appointments were cronies. They were all PDP supporters or whatever, you know, but now suddenly because it's Baba Buhari, Fulani agenda, all this kind of stuff, then that appointment must be terrible. What is your view? Are you thinking that it's terrible? Because here in the UK and even in America, we saw in America that the Republicans are head of the voter organization in their states. Okay, a Republican is dealing with the voters, is the voter commissioner and all that kind of stuff, and they delivered the votes for Biden, despite Donald Trump saying they should give it to Republicans. So, where the person's allegiance really is that the issue? Or should we concerned about their integrity? I think integrity should be more important, because if someone has got integrity, no matter their bias, they're going to follow the books because of their integrity. Isn't that supposed to be the more key thing to focus on?
Thank you, Femi. Do you know that I'll tell you 2 people that I can tell you by their names. During the chairman of the Ekweme support organization in 1999 was made an INEC residential officer. He's a top-notch, I won't mention his name now, he's a top-notch in the hierarchy of INEC at the day. He was appointed by President Obasanjo into he was chairman of Ekweme support organization. 1. Secondly, somebody that we know here, that we went to school together, his mom was married to President Obasanjo's cousin, and they are PDP carrying members in their own household. She was made a chairman of Ondo State that became a crisis under Agagu when Agagu was removed. Now, the thing is this: the shadow of PDP is what is thereafter, and for goodness sake, no matter who, do they want them to go and bring people from Mali or Togo to appoint Ito there? Although, if you're looking at it, they are now these people that are shouting that. Look at the level at which the level at which the PDP dragged itself. The chairman of PDP was an officer. We are demonstrating in the National Assembly because of appointment of one National Executive Commissioner. That is how PDP had lowered itself. The chairman of PDP demonstrating in front of National Assembly because of appointment of one. They've turned it to personal thing. Thank God that woman is not an Hausa woman. They will have said it's a Fulani agenda. They will have turned to a Fulani agenda. And unfortunately, the forefront of the people that are antagonizing this woman are from the same region of this woman. The same region that this woman comes from, they attack. And the moment President Buhari appoints a northerner, they will call it Fulanization. Now they have appointed somebody from their own region, they are attacking the person. So it is not more about politics. It is more about personal hate. Now, this is gone beyond appointment. Look at how can the party hierarchy of a political opposition come to the National Assembly because appointment of one woman? They come in there. It has become beyond that. Although, in my own opinion, a responsible government will not put Mrs. Onoche, who was the forefront in our official position before, will not put Ms. Onoche for INEC office. There are so many appointments they could have put her in for. But for INEC, they should have put her in. That's my personal opinion. But the way they are going about it, PDP are going about it, I tell you, that woman will be appointed and nothing will happen. And they should be thinking about integrity.
I actually believe with you that because they're making so much noise about it,
Yes.
people have now going to dig their heels in, and they're going to make sure that she's appointed. Although, as you, I may have reservations. The optics doesn't necessarily look good, but she could defend herself in saying that I am a Buharist, and of course there are so many people that hate Buharist, and they hate them. So for that reason alone, they say that she shouldn't be there. But funny enough, I don't understand that analogy, because in 2023, Buhari is not going to be on the ballot. So what's the issue?
It is
I love Buhari.
hatred.
Buhari is not on the ballot, so what's the issue? But they're taking it to another level and saying it's not about Buhari, you're an APC, blah, blah, blah.
Femi, it is gone beyond this. I've seen people who are called friends, who have gang up against me on social media, all because I have affiliation for APC. Because
you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
The thing is this, can I tell you, the thing is gotten to the level that they have gone beyond politics to become turned to personal hatred.
And they've turned into thugs. They've turned into thugs. That's the thing.
They cannot tell you.
No, they've turned into thugs. I think if you have political discourse and you cannot, show your difference or your, differences in a diplomatic and civil manner, you've lost the plot. Because if your cause is just, you should be able to debate and discuss in a civilized manner.
They don't debate, they abuse you.
The moment you can't do that, then of course you've lost.
They don't debate, they abuse you.
Let me get back to Deacon, because we're on the hour now and we're going to go on a break. Look, INEC has devised a continuous voter registration process, and it's commenced, and the registration can be done online with a registered telephone number and a national identity number. But mischief makers have been making noise at the fact that most of the people, and I said there were 250,000 people that registered in the first week, that most of them are from the South. So mischief makers are already saying that, the Northerners are going to be in trouble because everyone registering are all from the South. It goes to reason that the more educated of Nigerians are from the South, especially in the youth, especially when education now in the North is under threat. So what's the big deal that so many from the South are registering? This is to Deacon.
Well, the registration of voters across the country, should be a very simple and very straightforward process. Why a lot of people in the North are not registering? Well, numbers that have been collected already is now just showing.
No, sorry, I've been asked that we have to go on a break, so we're going to go on a break now, and we're going to see a little video about INEC's continuous voters registration process, and then we'll come back and you can answer that question, Deacon. Okay? So we're going to go on a break.
All right.
Everybody, enough is enough. Soro, Soke. Going out on a break.
When it comes to choosing the right product for my skin, it's all about the ingredients for me. Niger skincare products are authentic, fresh, and best of all, completely organic. I love the Motherland Moisturizer. It's designed to smooth and soak in the skin without ever feeling greasy, and their Jade Roller has literally become a part of my self-care routine. Visit nigerskincare.com today and receive 20% off your first order.
Hi guys, my name is Yabo, and I am the founder of Masasi B. If you're looking for unique African-inspired clothing and accessories, please check out my brand. All details are at the end of this video. Feel free to get in touch. Thank you.
Curl pattern has just bounced back. Look at that, without any product in the hair at all. When you use shampoo,
for me, it's a way of building the next generation of Nigerian leaders who are going to put our country straight on the proper path of progress and a positive future.
Okay, for me, it's a platform that would help to build upon what we already have in our youths in Nigeria and Africa. We're trying to instill in them values that you'll find in a leader. We're trying to inspire them to take up these leadership positions. We're trying to empower them with the skills and knowledge that they will need to pursue leadership positions too. Honestly, it was out of frustration. There's a saying that goes that when you feel passionate about something, that's probably your calling in life. For me, I was frustrated with the lack of in my country, Nigeria. I was frustrated with the lack of transparency, lack of accountability, lack of connection between our leaders and the
So, everyone knows how terribly difficult it can be to apply for any government-related document or identity number in Nigeria. From the overcrowded centers full of weary people to touts lurking around, looking to make quick money, and government officials seeking bribes before they attend to you, it is almost as if the process of getting things done in public institutions is designed to waste your time and frustrate you. On Monday, June 28th, the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is, INEC, commenced the new voter registration exercise ahead of the 2023 general election. Prior to the 2019 general elections, a lot of eligible voters could not participate in the process due to one reason or another. It is the reason the continuous voter register is such a breath of fresh air. INEC launched its portal on Monday where potential voters could commence the registration process online by filling the forms and uploading other documents before completing the exercise at available offices. According to INEC, Nigerians will not only be able to register, they will also be able to review their information, change their voting location to another polling unit, update their information on the voter's card, find where they can pick up their PVC or get a replacement PVC if their card is damaged or misplaced. So, we wanted to know what the user experience is like on INEC's new voter registration portal. By the way, head to cvr.inecnigeria.org on your web browser if you haven't. On the portal, you should actually read the terms and conditions to understand how INEC is going to use and share your data. To proceed, you'll have to verify your email address by clicking the link sent to your email inbox. Once you're back on the portal, you'll need to click on the relevant application tab to continue with the rest of the process. For new voter registration, you have to fill the pre-registration form and upload supporting documents that will prove your identity, age, and nationality. From a user experience and interface point of view, the desktop and mobile navigation was pretty simple and easy. The page is actually clean, content is easy to scan, and the loading time is pretty fast too. However, where most people might have a bit of challenge will be in uploading their supporting documents if they do not have it available on their devices. Also, those who do not have a laptop or smart devices will not be able to use the registration portal. One wonders why the national identity number is not being used as the main source for biodata collection. Anyway, after completing the online registration, you are expected to visit the INEC offices in your locality from July 19, 2021, where you will provide your fingerprints to complete the registration process before you can be issued a permanent voter's card, that is your PVC. We hope the online registration continues to go smoothly and every eligible Nigerian citizen gets a chance to register their PVCs and exercise their right to vote and be voted for when it is the election season.
Welcome back to the show. Enough is enough, Soro, Soke. I'm with my guests, Dr. Olufemi Obakanwi and Mr. Dr. Adeoye Obanleo. Unfortunately, the other guests are all from Nigeria, and for some reason they're not being able to connect. But you saw that video, Mr. Deacon Adeoye. What is your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
To be honest with you, there isn't much I can say about the video because it's just one thing that has been so prevalent over the years. And when you look at the broader picture, you know, the most important thing is what we just have to say is how can we begin to implement some things that will make our country more peaceful, are more. I mean, we just begin. We just have to collectively begin to orientate ourselves to begin to build a more tolerant and justifiable society that will be free for all Nigerians.
Okay, Dr. Olufemi, what I took out of it was that it's a novel thing that's happening now. You can go online and you can register. Unlike before, you have to wait in queues. So that's good. The system is clean. It works sufficiently. Now you can use you can upload your documents. The only thing that they thought was sad is you couldn't do the national identity number, which would have been easy, because if they collated that number, there wouldn't be any need for you to then go back to INEC to do your fingerprints anymore, because they should be able to just transfer that data. We like to repeat the same process over and over again. The other thing that I thought, which would I think INEC should look into, because nowadays you can have a virtual credit card and a debit card. You can actually have your PVC on your phone. So why do they not incorporate your PVC into your phone, so that if you've completed your process, rather than you waiting to go down to INEC to get your PVC, which is a Herculean task, which has been the main bane of problems, because people are not being able to collect their PVCs. We have so many people registered, but the number of collections is very, very low.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. You know, it's gonna be a gradual process for me. You know, I mean, sometimes
it's a gradual process, an improvement, yes. Yeah, but what I think is that because we haven't invented we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Technology is just like an add-on. You could just have it such that they can have their virtual PVC with their phone, especially if it's an Android phone. So you can have your phone and your PVC. So it's one or the other. You have the physical card, or you have the physical. You have it on your phone. And in any case, when you get to vote, even though you've got your phone, you still have to thumbprint. And apparently, INEC also bringing in facial recognition. They're looking to bring that into 2023. Are these positive things, Doctor? Let Doctor answer quickly.
No, yeah. Don't. In as much as all these technologies are available for use, you cannot divulge. You cannot divorce the peculiarity of Nigerian society vis-a-vis security issues, distrust, mistrust, and manipulations away from it. When the NIN number issue came up, it got to a state that people are being called and their BVN number are being used for fraudulent purposes. And you are asking people to put it online. Nigerians will be very skeptical about this. This is one thing they know, that everybody and anyone can always access if they put it on their phones. And the fact that it is not a secured system, Nigerians will be wary of putting it on the system, on there. We have all this technology because we have facilities that support secures this in the Western world. But at the moment in Nigeria, there are none. To the extent that even the little attempt by the state or the government to regulate social media or to regulate the media and technology is being rebuked, and is being seen from political perspective. So the moment you put it on there, hackers will go on field day. So people are very wary of putting their information online in Nigeria.
You still have to go through the manual process, and as you said, most of the people who actually take part in electioneering will be the villagers and the mama in the market and all those, and they're not going to use it. But for the young youth and that, they will use it. Let me go on to the next question. We've got 18 months to the 2023 elections. Is it not too late to see a different type of politics in Nigeria in 2023? Anyone can take this question.
There's no. The thing is this: the type of politics that we've seen so far in the past last 4 years is not. We do not. Sincerely speaking, we do not have an opposition party. We don't have a opposition party. The opposition party has turned, is a matter of sources said, into a tribal warlord. There's a tribal organization. And the only thing is that the only challenge we see is abuse, curses, falsehood, lies on social media, and attacks on personality. And that's not, we don't have disagree on issues. So we're talking about political parties who are talking about different politics. The different politics that I expect to see is politics of discussion on issues. If you talk about blurring of different, people say they are APCD. People can call them in labor and labor and conservative almost have the same thing. They're almost not recognizable at a particular time. It is life. Life happens. What we expect to see between now and 2018. Now the parties have the governors of the South are spoken. Then when we talk about candidate from the South, we begin to say quality begin to come out, and then we can begin to talk about issues. Enough of this talk about blackmail, lies, and all this stuff. And we talk about insecurity and all this. So yes, there are issues with herdsmen, there are issues with kidnapping. But for goodness sake, the North feel the brunt more than we do. The North have more to. Was it yesterday?
We're gonna get onto that in a minute.
So please, for goodness sake, let's also have a politics of discussing issues, discussing education, discussing security, discussing technology, discussing future, discussing economy. Okay. Not discussing. Let
me bring Deacon in. Unfortunately, I'm going to disappoint you, and I'm going to go back to personality politics. Only in the sense that on social media, I have a lot of haters, as you can imagine. Anyone who's in support of Buhari or APC is being vilified on social media, especially by my own Yoruba brothers and sisters. Now, the funny thing I find, Deacon, is I got a few posts just today in which someone who's a devout, how can I put it?
Where's that noise coming from?
I don't know where that's coming from, but it's not coming from me. There's a person who's a devout Oduduwa Republic agitator, if you like, okay? And he's been sprouting this hate about the Fulani agenda and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden in a post today, he said, Atiku will be better than Buhari. So I had to say to him, so in 2023, you're going to opt for the same Hausa Fulani herdsman, Fulani that you hate, in 2023. How does that stand? I mean, we're going back to the same kind of bogus politics of the past. How does that work?
You see, wonder shall never end for me. I mean, I don't know who this individual is.
He knows, because I'm not going to call him out. But if he watches this show, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I've sent him a message saying Article 2023 loading. He will fix Nigeria 2023.
Look, you see, I personally, and I'm going to be upfront about this. I think we should begin to look at Nigeria from a different perspective, from a different dimension now. I think, well, you see, it's high time, if you are serious about rebuilding this nation, we need to begin to start discarding people who have been at the helms of affairs for so long, and whether the law has been in their favor or not, and certain things have been attributed to them. It's high time that we look at young, vibrant Nigerians who can move this country forward.
Okay, but if you look,
let me just finish. Don't forget that in 2015, I was appointed the Director General for the entire Europe to oversee this man's election campaign.
And people don't know who you're talking about. What's his name? What's his name? Say his name, because people don't know who you're talking about.
We're talking of the same person that you just mentioned now. Atiku, Abubakar Atiku, yeah, you know. So you know, I know you're trying to put, I know you're trying to put me on the spot there, but you know, but
He's your man. You
you
have
are
to defend your man.
articulator.
No, you see, Femi, I am not.
I never said that. I never said that.
I am going to be very upfront, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe that now it's time for us to unite. You know, if we still believe that there is still a future for this country, it's either we put up or we shut up. You see, because most of the time when we come on our programs or when we hear things on social media, you know, we are very good at analyzing the problem. But when it comes down to uh, looking for meaningful and viable solutions, you know, it is always we always found one thing.
Okay.
Now,
let me put you on the spot quickly.
Yeah,
you know, after
please,
the Southern governors came and they said in their agenda that they wanted to go to the South, blah 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 blah. The Northern Elders Forum came on Channels TV and was saying that they don't know what they're talking about. That basically we don't want necessarily a leader from the South. We should be focusing on a leader that can unite Nigeria, that can come from the North, that could come from the South. Are you for that kind of a leader? Are you for, hold on a minute, are you for that kind? Are you for? Let me finish. Are you for that kind of leader? It doesn't matter where he comes from, that's going to unite Nigeria, or you believe that we have candidates from the South who can unite Nigeria, and the next president must come from the South? What's your view?
Femi, my whole honest answer to that question is: look, we cannot continue to have mediocrity in as leaders. You know, these people have failed us for so long. I think the only viable person, who really had good intentions, the only viable person who had good intentions from the North was the late Yaradua. This man really meant well for Nigeria. But unfortunately, he passed on so soon. Now, whatever you want to say about this man, a man of integrity, he means well, blah, blah, blah. We can come up with all the excuses. The only person who is accountable at the end of the day is President Muhammadu Buhari. So we can sit down and come up with numerous excuses, why this is not working, or maybe the system is against
2023. We're talking about 2023. Buhari is not going to be on the ballot. So I'm saying to you, answer the question. Are you for?
I think that in the spirit of fairness, I think in the spirit of one Nigeria, and as you've always advocated for, I think we should now begin to look back at the South, or if possible, look for a credible candidate from the southeast of Nigeria as well. They have never been, at the helm of affairs. So there is no point, if we are.
They have never been the president. They've never been the president of Nigeria. They've never been an elected president of executive.
That's what I'm saying.
There's never been an executive.
We cannot begin to look at the time of Nnamdi Azikiwe. When it was.
Hold on. Let's get the facts correct. Nnamdi Azikiwe was not an executive president. He was just a ceremonial head of state, so he doesn't count.
He was a ceremonial head of state.
We've never had an elected president from the Southeast. Let's get that straight. So let's move the question on anyway. I'm glad that you said that. So
that is what I'm saying. And that is the point I'm making now. That why don't we for once, give them the platform to be able to choose, a credible candidate that can rule Nigeria.
Let's get onto that question. So we're now on to current affairs, as you can see. So this is another week of Nigerian politics. Is never dull. So the Southern Governors' meetings are always controversial. What do we make of their communique? Further endorsement of the open grazing ban legislation by September 2021, rotation of the presidency to the South, insistence on electronic transmission of results, and rejection of 3% equity for host communities. So they also request for notification before conduct of intelligence operations. I'll give Doctor the opening stand on that. What is your view on the Southern Governors Forum and their communique? Go ahead.
Thank God they are awake at last. I've always said in there, the day the governors wake up to their responsibilities, that's the day you see Nigeria start working. Do you note something, Femi and Dewey? Do you know that the moment they came out with their communique, it is a kind of relative peace came to the southwest, in southern Nigeria. The moment they start talking, they have been docile. We have been hiding instead of us facing the truth and facing that the governors are not working. All of us are attacking President Buhari. As if President Buhari is the chairman of my local government or is the governor of my state. The governors are not doing any work, and all we are shouting is Buhari, 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 Buhari. Now, going back to what they've said about that, now they said open grazing is not allowed. Now, they've just put that into law. Why have you waited so long to put it into law? Number one. Number two, if someone now grazes because the Constitution of Nigeria puts the rest of the ownership of land in the hands of the governors. Don't graze on my land. If you come on my land, your animals will be shot. It becomes a law. Nobody can now say in there. So that's why people like Malami will come out and say that what you are saying is illegal because there is no law backing up what you are saying. Now they are coming out to say that, fine, fantastic. On the issue of the 3% community host community derivation, I don't think that what they're asking for is too much. 5% is fantastic. But the thing is this, for the 3% they're talking about, my concern is this. The 13% derivation they got, what have they done with it? Are we seeing in the states that had the 13% derivation?
But the derivation goes to the states rather,
it goes to the states.
Whereas the 3% goes to the host community. So
it goes to the host community
that are actually affected.
It goes to the host community, and if the governors who are still emperors do not allow the local government to operate, we will see the money will still end up in the coffers of the states. Because the thing is,
it goes to the communities, not to the state.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
The local government. That is the plan. Let's see if they, like you say, whether they can make that a reality.
Femi, Presidential Order 10 was to give autonomy to local government and also financial autonomy to local government, was signed by the president. The governors have a way of going about through the corners to get the money of them.
Shouldn't we be making sure that the legislation allows the money go directly to the community?
Exactly. That is what
through some indirect method.
No, Femi, that's what we are talking about. We should be concerned about the legislation that says any governor that goes to do this, these are what happened to it. This is what we should be concerned about. There are the things. We need to put laws in place that governs and correct things that are going wrong. Instead of all of us shouting at the presidency, the things are going wrong at the grassroots. We are ignoring that. We are looking at that.
Go on.
You said something now. Last you said something about the rotational presidency to the south. Fantastic. Now there's a kind of unison amongst them. Now we were saying about we should just go to the southeast. No, it doesn't work.
No, he didn't say it shouldn't just go to the southeast. He said he should give them an opportunity. He didn't mean that.
Give them an opportunity. The thing is this: it is coming to, when the presidency goes to the north. We do not say go to one part of the north. We don't say go to the south, northeast, northwest, north south. No, it will go to the north. And among the northerners, they gave us a presidential candidate. It is coming to the west. Among the west, it was coming to the south. In the south, give us in there. And it's a game of numbers. Unfortunately, and I have no apologies to say this. In the past, the Easterners have shot themselves in the leg. What they've done is always align to the north and becoming second fiddle. They've done it forever. Look at this situation they find themselves. In 2019, there was no senator, one senator from the East to be nominated as the Senate president. Not one. All of them refused to vote. They voted in opposition party. Now, when you do that, when you do bulk voting in the West, APC was caught in the West. You see PDP candidates here, senators, one or two from the PDP in the southeast, but they're not in the east. No, they were doing tribal voting. So you cannot do that and expect people to just give you presidential on a platter of gold until we start voting and voting conscience, not voting in en bloc in traditional way. And they've always done this. Now, if the presidency come to the south, please, for goodness sake, the southwest have voted en masse for APC. APC will not give the presidency to this east to placate. We will go for the best candidates amongst us in the southwest, in the south. The best candidate amongst us should go forward. It should not be automatically go to the southeast. Let it go between the southwest, southeast, anywhere. Let's go there.
It looks like there's going to be a big competition for that. We'll see what
happens. Let's have the competition. Let's
Deacon, do you have anything more to say on that particular point before I get the next question?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I don't know why Tunde is so pessimistic about the idea of, a presidential candidate coming from the southeast. I believe that if we are serious and hell bent on building a united Nigeria that is free for all, not just for a particular tribe, set of people, then we must begin to change our mindsets, and let's begin to look at things holistically. And my notion still remains that, look, whatever might have transpired in the past, there is always room for people to be able to retrace their steps and begin to look at themselves to say, look, okay, maybe in the past we've come short, and we've really we haven't actually really done ourselves much favors, but now is the time for us to go back and regroup, and and see how we can begin to move and forge ahead for a better Nigeria. For the prosperity of the eastern part of Nigeria as well.
Yeah, Mr. Obanjo, Deacon Obanjo, do you think that your party will field a southern candidate?
Femi, that's a very, very, very tough question. Remember a few weeks ago when we came on board, I said that right now, and I tend to agree with Tunde when he opened his speech about an hour ago, on the lack of transparency from my party in terms of being a credible opposition party. We've had enormous problems in the past 6-7 years, some which have been clearly visible to many Nigerians, that indeed we need to go back to basics and begin the process of rebuilding our own home if we are to be taken seriously as a party that wants to govern Nigeria again. I personally think until things begin to change, the dynamics of I honestly don't see us producing a credible candidate, unless we look at the inward structure, we look at ourselves, and we can stop all this in-house warmongering that has torn the party apart. Even in the southwest. I know what transpired a few months ago when we were trying to, when we were trying to elect, yes, in our states, those kind of things.
There's a meeting going on as we speak in Oyo now.
Yeah, and as Governor Seyi Makinde always says, as a party, when you allow people from the outside to begin to notice the cracks that are within, then you're in for insurmountable problems. And right now, there's 3 months there to the end of the year. So going into the new year, we might begin to see a different PDP. But for now, the future, there's so much uncertainty.
I've got a poll going on here. It's not scientific in any way, but from what I can see, and I'm looking on it right now, most of the PDP people, I said Atiku will fix Nigeria 23 is loading, and someone has just said there's no doubt about it. So there you are. That's what's looking like there. And let me bring the next question now. It's I was going to say, what do we think was the Northern Governors going to be their response? Because they haven't really come forward to make any response. I would have thought they would make a quick response, but it may be because they're unlikely to get unity within the North, so they feel that it's not necessary for them to make a comment right now, because governors like Autumn, for example, and Plateau Governor may not necessarily want to support an agenda that doesn't include the open grazing ban. Now, the next question, I'll start with you, Ms. Deacon Obanlewo. An arrest warrant was issued to former President Zuma for failure to comply with South Africa's constitutional court subpoena. He initially claimed he will resist, but has since handed himself in voluntarily instead of creating a security crisis. I take it you will agree he has done the right thing.
Yeah, he has. You see, because no individual should be bigger than any country. Whether you being a former president, former senator, in any capacity that you have served, when the law has actually asked you to present yourself, maybe you've been indicted on some form of financial irregularities, or be it anything that you might have been you might be accused of. It is your responsibility, first and foremost, as a citizen of that country, to respect the rule of law. When you do that, what you are saying to other members of your country is, look, as as a citizen of South Africa, or as a citizen of Nigeria, that you are respecting what the rule of law says. And him handing himself in, whether the court of law now finds him guilty is another ball game entirely. But the fact that he's handed himself in shows that well, he feels that he doesn't have anything to hide, and at the end of the day, if he has to be interrogated for or questioned about certain things that might have transpired when he was the president of South Africa, then I'm sure his legal team will prepare themselves, and in due course,
yeah, but if we look at it, he's not actually been put in prison to answer any questions. It's simply because he didn't respect the court and he didn't turn up to the subpoena, and so he's going to do his 15 years. Anything to do with the actual case of corruption or whatever, that is a secondary matter, and he may still have to face that. But in a similar vein, in a similar way, the same way, Igboho has been named as a wanted fugitive by DSS. Should he not also do the honourable thing and hand himself in to face inquiries and possible charges?
Yeah, but Femi, we are mixing two things up here. You see, one is somebody who is passionate and about the plight of his people. I mean, I'm sure we've discussed this before.
And Zuma isn't.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not really keen on what goes on in that. I mean, you asked me a question earlier, and I've told you that in view of what the law expects from him, he has done the honourable thing and has handed himself in.
And in Nigeria, I'm going to allow you to land, but just to paraphrase again, a wanted fugitive by the DSS. Should he not also do the honourable thing and hand himself in to face inquiries and possible charges? We are a sovereign state, just like South Africa. If it's good for South Africa, why is it not good for Nigeria? Go ahead. Deacon, I can't. Oh, we've lost him. Okay, Doctor, maybe you want to answer that.
We lost him.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's
unfortunate. I think he's going to come back.
Scenario that we find ourselves.
Going to come back.
What we need to
hold on.
What we need to be
we can't see you.
When we come,
Deacon, can you hear me?
Here is to not.
Yeah, go ahead. Go on. We're hearing you now. Go ahead.
I mean,
your reception is bad. It's not from us. We're not trying to cut you out. Please speak. It's not from us. Try and get your connection going well.
No, reception is bad.
Maybe he'll,
yeah. It's bad for saying. Yeah. What?
It's not too automatic. It's not too. Be careful of. Is when we come on air. It's not too automatic.
We're having a situation where one law is acceptable in South Africa, is acceptable in the world, is acceptable here and there. Now, when Maina jumped bill the other day, when it was accustomed in Niger Republic or Dubai, and was brought into this country, it was hailed that yes, he stole pension money, he's been brought back to Nigeria to face charges. That's why the fact that he jumped bill. Fine, fantastic, everybody clap for that. Now, when someone who openly, the thing is this, I don't like when people begin to twist issues. We have videos, audios of this man claiming he took arms from custom officers. It's on video that he said it himself. And we have videos of his boys taking arms from some custom officers. Law enforcement, there are videos, don't shake your head. There are videos of people carrying his placard and they were taking arms from custom officers. If you want it, I will give it to you, Dewey. There are videos of it, and the DSS has it. Even when his people were being paraded, it was said that was the reason why they arrested him. He himself used this, and unfortunately, somebody was saying the other day, even Kaka was saying it. The people that were pushing him, go out, we'll follow you, we have to do it. All of them disappeared when he was here. That is Yoruba for you. They will push you out and leave you there. So he talked too much. He put himself in that situation. And if he had not done it, why didn't he? When DSS invited him, why did he go? He said it on video that nobody can arrest him. That if they come, they'll all die.
Need to get your connection done. Your connection's not working. Let me get back to Mr. Adeoye. Deacon Adeoye.
1,000
yes,
of them come.
Doctor,
only 100 of them. 100 of them are escaped. They should thank their staff. He is threatening the state. You are threatening the status.
Doctor, let's hear from Deacon, because I don't want people to think that we don't want him to say what he wants to say. Yeah, let's hear it. Deacon, go ahead. And we have other topics.
We are threatening the status quo.
We have other topics, so let's not go too long on it. Doctor, go ahead, Mr. O'Brien.
You see, Femi, what I'm saying, look, the federal government has actually declared that this gentleman, Chief Sunday Igboho, wanted. Nobody in their right frame of mind. The only reason that is happening is because we belong to a country where nobody has a sense of dignity when it comes to this. Is just unnecessary persecution. Can this government automatically tell any reasonable Nigerian the reasons why this man who is agitating for a common cause, who is agitating for the welfare and the freedom of his people, people just come up with all these flimsy excuses. You got ammunitions. For me, how about the Hausa Fulani who are bringing in AK-47s from all local corners of different parts of the Nigeria, from neighboring countries?
They are criminals.
They are criminals, yes. So what makes them different?
Hold on. There is no difference as far as I'm concerned. They should be apprehended and they should be prosecuted. So why then are you saying? Sorry. If they are criminals and we acknowledge they're criminals, if Sunday Igboho is also alleged to have committed crime as well, irrespective of what he's hold on.
What crime has he committed, Femi?
The crimes are there. Handling weapons, taking weapons from customs and so on. Even if you don't believe it, you may not believe it. Let's assume you don't believe it. But let's assume that we don't believe it. But the state has made an allegation. You've got to face that allegation, don't you?
You said he collected arms from customs. Is customs not part of the? Is customs not part of the government department?
The point is, does he not need to face his crime?
Today, I'm hearing this. I'm getting this information that Sunday Igboho collected arms from customs.
No.
Is it customs meant to? Isn't customs meant to protect the integrity of our country?
I'm not telling you the details of exactly what is being alleged. Whatever it is, there's criminality that has been alleged. Also, there were weapons found in his house. Okay. There are many crimes that apparently, remember that whilst the DSS raid on his house, they got attacked from within. So everybody who's inside will be seen as an attempted murder or attack on the police and the DSS. So he will be roped into that. Even for that alone, he should come in and answer that. Don't you think so?
When they went to his house to apprehend this guy, was there any slight indication that Chief Sunday Igboho was seen attacking the battalion of people who were seen physically present at his house to arrest one individual? Isn't that despicable behavior from the federal government? We have.
Okay, no, it's not. Are you aware?
Listen,
it's not despicable behavior, because are you aware that one of the police officers
it is despicable
was
behavior.
actually shot
It
from
is
within?
abysmal.
Hold on. A police.
No.
So if it was a British officer that was shot from inside a premises, what do you think would happen? What would they say? What would you say? If it was a British officer goes to a house and got a shot from inside, what would you say to that? I'm asking you that question. Forget about Igboho now. Someone goes to a law enforcement goes to a house and receives shots from inside. Let's assume that that's the facts. Let's not play about the bush, beat about the bush. Let's assume those are the facts. Because, when you go to court, the police evidence will always take precedence. We can dispute it, but if that is the evidence, shots came from inside. What do you say to that?
The point you're trying to make now is just an assumption. You're just assuming that if that happens, what will be the likelihood? You see,
it's just an assumption. That's what the police are saying. The guy's already said it in his report that the officer was shot. You did not read the report. And let's not stay on this, because we're not going to get anywhere. You believe that Zuma should go and he did the honorable thing, but you think that Igboho has got some kind of exemption because he's the governor of a state. I understand where you're coming from. He's got immunity because he's the head of the Yoruba race. He has immunity. I understand. Let's move the question on to the next question. He has immunity. I want to even go further now and take up the right on the learned stand. Let's take this back to Doctor, and then I'll come back to you, Deacon. Let's review Falana Sand's statement that it's illegal for the DSS to raid a suspect's home in the night. People are saying it's like Gestapo tactics. He talked about a battalion of soldiers. Is there any basis to this kind of claim? Or is this a defense based on tribal sentiment from one of our renowned legal luminaries? The Administration of Justice Act 2015, of which the Honorable San Falana is aware of, and the Police Act 2020 enable the police to raid and secure an arrest at any time of the day, including Sunday and public holidays, as well as arrest without warrant. Was due process followed? Is the government right to put out a wanted notice on Igboho as a wanted fugitive suspect? Doctor, what do you say?
Thank you very much. To buttress your point, on the national TV, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Ozekome, Chief Ozekome, came on TV and was misleading Nigerians until Mr. GT Oluya, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Came and brought the constitution out and read it to Shehu on TV and said that you are lying. You are reading a wrong. You are reading a wrong amended constitution. It has been amended. You are reading a wrong to the Nigerians. He was disgraced on national TV. Unfortunately, Mr. Femi Falana is basing his argument on sentiment and tribal affiliation. Are you telling me that there is a particular time of the day police should not work, therefore armed robbery and criminals should have a field day because time has elapsed, and you shouldn't come in the middle of the night or a particular time of the day that, okay, this is a time for criminals, police have gone on holidays. Therefore, why don't we just have closing time for police station? Why don't you have closing time for DSS and army? They should have closing time and they have a resumption time. Criminals have field day, 24 hours of the day, but criminal justice system must not work at a particular time of the day. This is just mere tribal sentiment. For goodness sake, Deoye was saying something now. Oh, they did not something. There is a video on it where his boys with his banner went and they were taking guns from customers. They were saying, the guy said in Yoruba, he said it. And Igboho himself came out and said it that and he even said it himself that if security men comes to his house, he will kill them. He said it himself. These are facts.
Not only that. Let's not delve.
On the issue of raiding, that you asked, Femi, there is no time the criminal justice system should go on break. security force you go on break. The same way that the criminals don't go on break.
We've got one of our Nigerian guests, Bola Babalola. Welcome to the show. Are you here? Can you hear us?
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. What is your view? I can hear you. Fantastic. What is your view on this very touchy subject? I mean, we're all Yoruba here now. And what is your view? Do you believe that Igbo has a case to answer and he should hand himself in? Or do you believe that he has no case to answer and he should walk around freely? Flout the law.
Thank you very much. I came in when Obanlewu was making his submission. I joined very late. But nevertheless, yes, I think Igboho missed it from the point of view, from the onset. The way he was going about the whole matter, there is a better way to do or to put up whatever opinion or agitations you may have. This is a sovereign state. This is a state governed by rules and regulations. I think he missed it when he decided to make himself to become a law. And the people following him made the matter worse. Like what Dr. Obakarwi mentioned now. All those videos in the public view, And these are some of the arguments the state can use against him. Even if you have a case, many times the DSS, the police, they invited Igboho, but he refused to respond. So in that wise, to the people and to people all over the world who were conversant with the rules and regulations and the constitutions, he lost their support. Assuming when he was invited, he could have contacted some son or some lawyers to follow him there and prove his case.
Like Falana.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to Deacon Adeoye. Let me go back to Deacon Adeoye because we've got more questions. We've got more questions, Babalola. So stay on with them. We're running out of time. I don't want to delve too much on this topic. We will come back to this topic. But the next question is to you, Deacon. Former finance, and you can come back on the other issue if you've got some outstanding, just quickly, not because of time. Former Finance Minister Adeosun won a case in the High Court that ruled that she did not require an NIC certificate to be appointed to ministerial office. This is good news for many aspiring diasporas in the similar circumstances. The circumstances must be the same in the sense that they were looking at the 1979 Constitution when you couldn't have dual citizenship. So at that point in time, she would have been needed to have had an NYSC certificate. What do you think about that ruling? This is to Deacon Adeoye.
Okay.
Mr. Deacon Obaneo, can you hear us? Oh, we're having problems with them. Okay, let me give it to Mr. Babalola because you haven't been here for a while. What is your view on that judgment?
Okay. Yeah, you see, the issue of Adeosun and this issue of certificate is just politics from the onset. I think Adeosun was made a fall guy for political shares game in Nigeria. But thank God, the lady took the most honorable step of stepping back from public office. That's why the fact that President Muhammad Buhari wanted her to stay on. But by now, and with the decision of the court, I think it is a legal way for many people who may be in a confusion concerning such a matter. And nobody can use such a matter against anybody tomorrow. Thank God for the court. And eventually, I think her name and her reputation was cleared and restored. So it is a good omen for the democracy and public in Nigeria. So
I'll give this next question to Dr. Olufemi. There's been a spate of assassinations of distinguished personalities in Southeast in Enugu recently. And is this not further evidence, if needed, that despite the remand of MNK Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the criminal exploits of IPOB and ESN using coercion, intimidation, and force to silence or eliminate any opposition to Biafra secessionist agenda in Southeast is still ongoing. I mean, although we don't have it on record as who done it, but these unknown gunmen have been known to be IPOB and ECN guys. What do you think about this? They're assassinating their own.
Yes, it is still on. It is still on. I also saw a gory video of another one where a former appointee was castrated. These are barbaric attitudes. The thing is this: they will not die. It won't go away overnight. The thing is this: they will be dealt with because with the language you understand. The thing is this: you cannot begin, because Mazi Manga had indoctrinated a lot of young Easterners to the extent that if you listen to the video that he made when the Biafra celebration, he was telling the people to kill Easterners. Igbo is Igbo people that goes out, that defies him. Kill Igbo guys, that citizen that defies him, and that is Hitler in the
making.
Yes, in the making. He's telling to kill his own people. He is a man that made a video that he should assassinate a sitting governor. So he has indoctrinated some people.
He put a ransom out, 100 million.
Yeah, he put a ransom. He put a ransom on Governor Wike. I should kill him. So
because Governor Wike said that River State is not part of the
because it's not part of Biafra. Therefore, he said he must be assassinated. So if you look at that kind of, but the thing is this: his boys. There was a gentleman, there was a man that was interviewed, that was captured, that was interviewed recently. He said they took oath to get into they use oath
heads of young women.
So they won't go off like that. Some of them will
young
be captured.
Women's heads, young women's heads.
Yes, they said they had to use virgin heads.
But on social media, they've debunked that and said it's all fake. But
what do you expect them to do?
We'll see that when it gets to the court.
What I'm saying is this: they will not go away like that. Some of them will be captured. Some of them will be killed. Osama bin Laden was killed. It took some time for Israel to disperse. So some of them will be taken over. So please,
let me bring Bola back into it. The Southern controlled media outlets, Bola, they've successfully manipulated the media agenda to present the impression that insecurity in the South is as pervasive as it is in the North, such that Southerners have become insensitive and impervious to the worst insecurity and poverty crisis in the North. Is it true that the President Muhammadu Buhari and APC federal government must take the brunt of the blame? Is it not disconcerting? Surely all Nigerian lives matter, wherever they're dying. I mean, we just heard today on the news, 42 people in Zamfara were killed by bandits. The idea that we are facing the same insecurity as the North, it's not the truth, is it?
The way I see the whole thing is this: even if the North is not secured and there is this trouble of banditry, kidnapping, and all this Boko Haram issue, is that something somebody should pray should happen in his own backyard? Is that something to be copied? Is that something to be rejoicing about? Even everybody is putting all the blame on Muhammad Buhari. No one is holding their state governors and other people in their zones responsible for this issue of insecurity. We are putting everything, shifting all the blame on Muhammad Buhari. And whatever is happening in the North, though the opinion leaders, the statesmen, the political elites in the North, they may not say it openly. They don't like it. They regret what is happening.
The Northern Elders Forum say they're not happy. They're not happy at all. How can they be happy?
They can't be happy. They can't be happy because what goes round, what comes around goes round. If this issue remains like this in 2023, well, how many of them will be bold enough to go out there and campaign? Therefore, what is happening in the Southeast now? I think the political elites, the political class should be blamed because they may not be supporting some of these things openly. I know with the situation in Nigeria, political wise, they may be supporting them underneath. And at the end of the day, it is the common man that will bear the brunt. But I wish somebody can be reasonable now and say, let us put stop to this madness. They are not killing house. They are not killing Hausa there. They are not killing the Fulani people there. They are not killing the Yoruba people there. They are killing their fellow Southeasterners. Is that not madness? Is that not stupidity? So something should be done.
Yeah, well, when you keep a vacuum, especially in the north and in the southeast, it's more or less a vacuum. There isn't really any clear leader as such, or group of leaders, or Hanezi has been more or less disposed of by the people. They don't take them seriously anymore, and it's a big problem for them as far as I'm concerned. I'm glad to see you're back, Deacon. Are you with us? You can hear me? Deacon, can you hear me? I want to take this next question to you. Deacon. Adere, are you here? Can you hear me?
He's back. He's back now.
But he's not speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Adere. Okay, good. The next question is to you. Looking at the federal constitution, the right to secession and self-determination, the mother of modern democracies, U.S. Constitution, does not have these provisions. The Spanish Constitution prohibits referendum for secession, and those who conducted the illegal referendum were jailed and recently pardoned. Where then does the notion of a universal right to self-determination emanate from? No such right exists in our constitution, nor in the constitution of most states. Many people even claim, for example, the Igbos, they claim to be Jews of Nigeria. Are they aware that Arab Israelis and or Palestinians cannot exercise any right to secede or self-determination? What is all this really about? Deacon.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Oh man, it's so sad. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
God. This is not from us, I promise you. I want him to answer these questions. I know he really wants to answer these questions. Doctor, let me give it to you. You say, you speak.
The agitation, yeah.
No, let Doctor speak.
The agitation for secession. Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Femi?
Go ahead quickly.
Can you hear me, Femi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. The agitation for secession is not, it's not constitutional. Neither is it any. I've always said it. Anyone that feels that, yes, we need to secede, they have a right to do that, but constitutionally. Form a political party like UKIP did under Nigel Farage, with the ideology of we want to secede. Form a political party, contest election in 2023.
Well, listen, you. I believe Deacon has opposed a different view to it. Can you hear us, Deacon?
Election, put it to the national and let us know what you are. The Scottish Democratic.
Well, listen, Deacon, can you let us know what's your view on this? Deacon, we can hear you. Deacon, can you hear me? Okay, we're not hearing Deacon. We can see him, but we can't hear him.
Maybe I should come in.
Okay, go on, Babala.
Yes, I can hear you, Femi.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Do speak quickly because we're running out of time. Yes, I can. Oh, no, Obanleo. Obanleo, please speak quickly.
Okay. Yeah. You see, I mean, the problems we have in Nigeria are not just going to disappear overnight. No matter how long we sit here and deliberate on these issues, there has to be, you know, it will be a gradual process and it will be a gradual transition. Now, my bone of contention is this. Let's not try to stereotype or scapegoat anybody, as if maybe, you know, in the course of trying to agitate for, you know, what they believe, you know, is their rights. We now harbor them and make them to be criminals. Now, I understand what Mr. Babalola was saying earlier, that you know, even though Sunday Igboho might have good intentions, but his application was wrong. Yeah, the application might be wrong, but you have to understand. That the level of education this man has, and his ability to be able to conduct himself in a mannerism that is fit, or which some people look at what he's doing and say, yes, his man would do, to protect his own people, and some would actually look at it from a different perspective. So we are all different. We look at things, we see things from a different perspective. But what I'm saying is that does not deny the fact that it's the agitation. Is it worthwhile? Is he pursuing a cause that is justifiable or not? And my bone of contention is doing what any.
Yeah, the question I'm asking you, and unless you didn't get the drift of what I'm saying, is that the American Constitution.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, the American Constitution, on which the federal constitution is based, and we look as the mother of democracy, doesn't have any right to secession. It doesn't have any self-determination clause.
Yeah.
So and I've listed a number of countries that don't. So the idea that you have a right to self-determination and agitation, it doesn't exist in any of these constitutions. So why are we saying that it exists in Nigeria when it is not even in our constitution? And Doctor said that the best way to go about it. Doctor said that the best way to go about it is to get to politicize, get a party, and take over government, and then you can impose your will on the constitution and change the law to put these things in there. Isn't that the legal way to do things? If you do things democratically, no one is going to argue with you.
Yes, I understand that, but you see, when we make comparisons, we cannot compare Nigeria to America in all ramifications.
So we're banana republic. We should just do anything anyhow.
No, we're not banana republic. I mean, the way in which we do things in Nigeria is totally different from all these countries that you've mentioned. Femi today is using YouTube and Nigeria.
It doesn't take away the fact that we have a democracy and we have rules. You either play the game. If you don't play the game, then you're against the constitution.
I mean, the way we play politics in Nigeria is completely different from the way these people play politics. Look, these are different countries.
So the way Igbo who's playing the politics, you just said he's uneducated, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he may have gone about it the wrong way. That's the right way to play the politics.
No. Let's not try to.
Because of time. Okay.
What I'm saying to you,
hold on. I'll tell you what.
Try and understand because of time.
We've gone over 2 hours. Sorry.
We've
gone over 2 hours.
Even though
I'm not cutting you off. Just a minute, Ade. I'm not cutting you off.
Yeah.
Just because of time, we're well over 2 hours. And I'm going to make sure that next week's show is going to be dedicated specifically to Oduduwa Republic. And then we're going to really, get everything we need to do and prepare yourself for that. It's not because I want to shut you up. It's just that we're out of time. I've got other questions as well. But guys, I think this is a great time to call it a day. I want to thank you all for coming on the show. Enough is enough. Soro, Soke. If you see something, make sure Soro. Don't be shy. Don't be silent. If you see something, say something. If you can't take it no more, do something about it. Nigeria go better. I believe in one Niger. We all want a better Niger. Big shout out to our sponsors, Niger Beauty Products, Share My Haven Hair Beauty Spa for massage, therapy, and skincare, and Masabi B Fashions. For sponsorship and advert placement, contact Prime View Television. I'm your host, Mr. Femi Oke, founder of Better Nigeria. See you same time next week when we'll have a debate, another hot topic. Over and out.
Prime View TV, new media with a different